recorded live right here in Little Rock, Arkansas. It's Larry's Rants, Raves, and Reviews. And now, here's Larry.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. We are looking forward to this evening. We've got Shawn Fason, the owner of G6 Security, here with us. And we've really been looking forward to recording with him. And I think, Randy, that this show is going to be a very timely show on the kind of on the heels of what America has been suffering with Charlie Kirk's murder and assassination. And
also with what happened or tried to happen to Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same.
Yeah,
you know.
That's right. So I met Shawn. He came in the restaurant with his lovely wife a few months ago and had lunch. And so I got to meeting with him and discussing a few things. And so I asked him for his card, and they're actually out of Conway, Arkansas. And so I took an afternoon after I closed the restaurant and ran over there and said, hey, can I just, sit and visit with you for a minute?
Yeah.
And just wanted to know what all he does. So, Shawn, welcome to the show, and it is great to have you.
Thank you, Mr. Larry and Mr. Randy, both. I like to say Mr. I'm kind of old school. I appreciate both of you guys giving me the opportunity to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you. And, Randy, not knowing what G6 Security is, I went and looked at their website, and they have a million things on there.
I bet.
And so I said, okay, I've looked at your website, trying to figure out what all you do. So here is my guess at what you do. I said, you are kind of like a private security service that people, companies, individuals can hire, and I think you even have it on there that you'll go take vacation with them if that's what they want.
That's true.
So why don't you give us a nutshell, just a rundown of what all you and your company really does?
Okay, I will do. Thank you for this opportunity again. G6 Security, man. First of all, let's talk about the G6 for a second. What does that stand for, if you don't mind?
Please.
I think it's important. The G6 is I've got your six, I've got your back.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So that's where the G6 comes from. They're a company that's got your back, and when it comes to protection. But G6 is a local state, we'll say, licensed by state police, insured security, training, and investigation company. So we're licensed by state police to do all three of those, and we do all three of those a lot. We also do many other things too. We do process service. We do background checks with a background machine, a harvesting machine. We do, what else do we do? Man, we do so much. It's hard to keep up with. We're jack of all trades, master of none. We also sell products, believe it or not. I think I shared that with you when we were in there. We bought into a company called Tactical Traps. So we sell reseller of devices that hide your guns.
Okay.
So like flags and American flags, mirrors, things like that. We sell that as well as something fairly new with G6. But really our bread and butter is security. That's where we're at. And mainly armed security is what we do. I'm not saying we don't do some unarmed, but mainly I would say 95% of what we do is armed protection for clients. We call it static, which is maybe at a store and you're up front. We do some of that. We do ATM security, where we watch and protect those working on ATMs in the state of Arkansas. High risk, high reward, high risk type stuff. That sometimes requires more than a pistol. Sometimes it requires a rifle. So it's pretty high octane type security, we call it. We also do executive protection, which I think is misunderstood in our market today. And I want to try to clarify that a little bit. Most people would know that by bodyguard.
Okay.
Bodyguards, but the technical term is executive protection. It sounds more pretty, I guess, than bodyguard, because that sounds more like a Whitney Houston movie, right? Bodyguard. Got Kevin Costner working for our company, but we do not have Kevin Costner working for our company. So we do that, and actually we got one of those coming up, next week in Bentonville. That we're going to do that. I wish I could talk a little bit more. I can talk a little bit more about that, but not a lot, because I don't want to give up our position necessarily. But There is some cool things happening in Bentonville with a new Scout that's coming out, vehicle that we're going to be guarding and protecting up there.
So you can't talk too much about that?
I really can't because of NDA type stuff.
Okay.
And
see, Randy, this is the problem. I've got when you talk offline, when you're sitting in his office, he tells me all this cool stuff. I'm like, oh man, we're gonna really have a good show. You know? Then he gets here, no, I can't talk about that.
Not fully anyway, but not fully. But
even before we went on the air, what was it? 3 or 4 things? Yeah, I can't talk about that. Don't talk about that. So
I do.
I understand.
My wife will tell you I like to talk, so I don't mind spilling the beans. I just got to be careful spilling the beans, right? So,
all right.
And plus, it may, I'm gonna be one of the guards up there, one of the executive protectors up there, and I don't want to endanger the other two, by putting out stuff on that. But I don't think it's high octane necessarily, but I think it's gonna be a good time. It's always a good time.
Sure.
But yeah, that's what G6 is about. That's what we do. We're in the state of Arkansas. We're in Little Rock mainly in the state of Arkansas. We do all over Arkansas. We do other states. We do global. We do overseas type stuff. So that's kind of our niche, and that's where our prime business is all around security.
So if, say, for instance, somebody's going to have a rally of some kind,
yes,
and they need security, you're the company that they would contact, and you would put security out there taking care of them.
Absolutely, yes, sir. Would do.
Okay,
we've done that before, and we can't just discriminate's the right word. We would do it for whoever asks us to do so.
Hey, if they're writing the check, who cares?
Exactly.
Right?
So we've done Republican and Democrats. What I'm trying to say.
Sure.
So we
the money's green.
Yeah, exactly. It pays. It's green. So it's greenback. So we don't discriminate on that at all. We do protect rallies, people at rallies. We protect people at weddings. Believe it or not, we've had a lot of wedding stuff where violence is involved.
Okay.
And they brought us in to do some really weird protection stuff. I'll go ahead and kind of talk about that for a second. That's something that'll really rock your world.
It's a good story?
Yeah, it's a good story.
All right.
There's one we had one in Conway, believe it or not, of all places, it was in Conway. Last minute, those are always a good thing, last minute, because there's more money and more possibilities there. And it was this, and I'm telling you the truth, I was blown out of the water. The bride's mom, the groom's mom fought and threatened to kill each other at the actual what's the wedding not reception, is it rehearsal? Before the wedding. What do you call that?
Rehearsal dinner.
Rehearsal dinner. That's it. I couldn't think of it. Sorry about that. And now that, and it's crazy because they literally said they're gonna kill and blow this place up. Well, they call us the people that actually rent out the facilities there in Conway. Don't even know us. They just got our number from somebody else, word of mouth. They said that we knew we'd keep them safe and call me up. It's like, hey, I need you here tonight. I need you in 30 minutes, and here's the deal. And I was like, shoot, yeah, I'm dropping everything I do for this. I mean, we're talking about blowing up stuff, and we searched, me and Monty, we did it, we searched every vehicle that went through that compound, in and out. Now, that's not normal at a wedding, right? That's not a normal wedding event. And 99% of the people, I say 90, I should probably say 90% of the people, they didn't tell them. They didn't tell them about the threats. So when we had them stop and roll down their window and all that, they're like, what are y'all doing? And we couldn't tell them. We was told not to tell them. And so we were looking for certain people that had threatened people. And believe it or not, it went off without a hitch, and everybody was at the end, they told everybody. And they all come by us at the other end. It was like, thank you so much. So that kind of stuff.
And the couple divorced 30 days later.
They
right?
may have. You're maybe right. It definitely didn't start off on a good right foot. But anyway, that was something that I had never experienced before, but I was so excited to go do. We dropped what we were doing. Me and Monty went straight over there.
Now, Monty's your business partner, Monty Harper.
Monty Harper's my business partner, yeah.
He was supposed to be with us on this show, but he got tied up with some training.
He is training people. He's training some people. So he's sorry he couldn't be here.
Oh,
trust me, he's been
gosh.
texting me for the last 10 minutes. So
two mother-in-laws going at it. Can you imagine Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now think about that, fellas. Like, I mean, I get it. It's not, marriage is not always perfect, right? We always have our struggles, but I've never been part of a wedding where the two moms were fighting that said they're going to kill people and blow it up.
I don't know about anybody else, but I'm feeling a whole lot better about my family situation right now.
Yeah, mine went off without a hitch, so I'm in good shape. So stuff like that. I just want to kind of give you that funny. That was not too long ago, actually.
Wow.
That was about 6 months ago. And,
Okay.
And man, it was intense. So,
do you do any people running for office, political people? Do you do anything like that?
We do. We do. We've guarded the Republican Party in Faulkner County.
Okay.
There's threats there to them, and we've done that. So I spilled the beans on that, right? So I spilled the beans. So we've guarded that meeting, and I'm a member of the Republican Party in Faulkner County, so I'm on the committee. So it was easy for me because I just said, "Hey, I'll do that."
Yeah.
And I did it for free for them, But there'd been some threats or some stuff going on there that's been not kosher, as you've probably been keeping up with here lately. There's been a lot of upheaval down there. But yeah, I mean, we've guarded politicians. I'll be honest, I've never guarded a Democrat. I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm just saying I haven't had that opportunity.
Okay.
And it's strange enough, they typically don't, and I'm not making fun of Democrats here at all, or maybe I am, maybe a little bit. I don't know. I don't mean to be.
We don't care.
Okay. Well, they don't seem to be more apt to do security, believe it or not. They seem to be more, I guess, willy-nilly maybe, not thinking anything about it. We don't get calls from them.
Yeah.
We just don't. We have some rally stuff, but beyond that, we don't get calls from them. Republicans, all the time need somebody to protect them.
Well, if you would go back in time, we started this podcast about a year ago, and there's a couple of shows that we did. One of them was America's conservative voice has been silenced, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's the leftist liberals that are ones out here doing a whole lot of stuff, and they have silenced the voice of the conservative. And I'm not trying to, bring a whole lot of politics into this, even though probably I will. But, it's not like we, do a lot of things, even on, and I want to be very respectful, anything that I refer to. It's kind of like with the Charlie Kirk assassination. We're holding church services, prayer vigils, that type of a thing. When a liberal loses his life, they burn cities. And
Big difference.
There is a big difference. And so
be blind to say there wasn't. There is definitely a difference.
Yeah, and I truly am trying to be respectful and not politicize Charlie's murder at all. What a fantastic guy that I followed him all the time. I listened to everything that I could of his. But and Randy, you mentioned on the way into the show here that with the Trump assassination attempt, and now with the murder assassination of Charlie, how do you think that is going to change your job in the security climate? Are there things that you can point at that you say, wow, that's got to tighten up, that's got to change? I don't know.
Yeah, and I want to be very kind and loving towards the Kirk family, and that whole situation's a terrible tragedy that should never happened.
Absolutely.
And it's more than just I want to quiet a voice. I want to quiet the truth.
Yeah.
It's bigger.
Oh,
and Charlie, I didn't know him, but I watched him.
Yeah.
And my daughter followed him, and I've watched many of his stuff, and I enjoyed it. I thought he did a really good job, and I appreciate a man willing to debate someone even when they disagree with them, give them a platform.
Right.
And so I have nothing but respect for Charlie Kirk and his ministry and his life. And but then I look at what you're saying about the security piece of that, and I think and I'm not armed quarterback in the missteps or whatever that may have happened that day.
Yeah.
Because we can always look back and say, I wish I'd done this better. So I'm definitely not doing that either right here. So know that.
We got that.
Because I absolutely respect that they probably did what they could based on what I saw to protect him. The problem is, how can you really fully protect somebody in that kind of scenario? Now, Trump, the president of the United States, that's a little bit different. Like, that should be a no-brainer. They got all the resources, all the money. They've got everything they need. There's no reason why Trump should have been shot at all, to be honest with you. I don't know how that happened. I think there's more to that story. But the Charlie Kirk thing, I think the security did a decent job, what I could tell.
Yeah.
You know, they had him surrounded. They had him at different points. And I go back and I look and where this shooter was, from what we can tell from the stories I know. I know there's more to come out later, I'm sure. His position seemed to be in a pretty simple position. Like he was at a place that you would consider to be a high target area.
Okay.
I mean, because his point, from what I could see, I just Googled it, right? So I would be up front. I don't know 100%. I just Googled what I could see. And you could see quite a bit with the Google, believe it or not, the Google Maps and Google Earth. But the building that he was on, or what we believe he was on, was a direct line of sight to Charlie. And that seemed to be a problematic to me. Again, I'm not judging the security or Charlie or any of his people, but I would hope that we in the future would plan these events where we can keep them out of lines of sight. That's so simple, like buildings where you just overlooks. We can keep them out of that.
Well, that's the way it was with the Trump.
Yeah. Oh, it was.
Too.
Yeah.
No, my question is with these two events, why don't they just have somebody in a van that's monitoring some live drones and just looking at tops? I mean, you don't have to be right there where it's, buzzing you and interfering, but you can be way up there and looking around and looking at the tops of the buildings and see. At Trump's rally, it would have solved that.
Oh, and it's simple. That there, I think, is a blunder way bigger than ever thought about Charlie Kirk's event. That's a private event, so he could only afford so much security, right? So, in fairness to Charlie, I mean, he didn't have the money to go out there and pay millions of dollars to have security.
No.
But Trump, on the other hand, they already had things in space where you could see heat signatures. I mean, I know where everybody's at.
Right.
They got satellite access.
Sure
Why would we tap it into that? This is the president of the United States of America.
Yeah.
The greatest leaders of the free world.
Yeah.
I don't care who's sitting in that spot. I would definitely make sure they're protected, whatever I had to. And we have dropped the ball, and I'm afraid going forward, it doesn't look a whole lot better to me. I don't know. I mean, if I'm Trump, I wouldn't want to go out anywhere, to be honest.
Well, you see the glass in front of him all the time now.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. You can't you can't trust anyone.
I know.
I mean, you take a look at this whole situation with Trump. He wasn't pushing the buttons, and he wasn't the one that was giving the commands at the time. And we all know why that happened. And we all believe we know who and what all was going on towards that. But now I'm afraid that he can't even, there's people that's in that office that Secret Service that they can't even trust them now. Yeah. I mean, how do you clean out the Secret Service completely of all the people that you think and then bring in all good guys? Seriously.
you got to go in and flush the toilet.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
And
start over.
If anybody could do it, though, I mean, in my mind, Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's not very afraid to, push a button if he needs to. I mean, he is a guy that is very polarizing and very aggressive, and I like that. I mean, I'm not against that.
Right.
We need some aggression, right? Because I'm tired of laying back doing nothing.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm all for that.
Right.
But he could go in there and just clean it out. I mean, I agree. I wouldn't trust. I'm sorry this is going to sound bad going across the air, but I'm just going to tell you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I don't trust about my government. And one of them is the protection of our own president. I don't trust it. I don't trust it.
You're preaching to the choir here.
I don't trust the government.
I know. It's sound like you, Larry.
You think I chose the right guest to come on with us? Or I did share with him a couple of my conspiracy theories, and come to find out, he bought into all of them.
Yeah, I do. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm
and
with
he
you.
threw a couple of his out, and I'm like, hey, I like them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm kind of radical on that side with you, Mr. Larry. They call us radicals, because I don't believe he's on the moon. I don't believe he went to the moon, so I'm there. I'm sorry.
Right.
I don't believe it. There's a lot of things I don't believe.
Yeah.
And I do think, and again, no disparaging words against anybody dead or what's happened, but I think there's more. I'm sorry. It's going to sound rough for your listeners. There's more behind this Charlie Kirk thing than what you know up front.
No, I don't think that sounds rough at all. I think we all sitting here can buy into that easily.
On the last show when we did that Wednesday night, right after that happened, I said, just make sure they keep him alive right now to get the information, because you don't want him to get in some kind of cell and the camera to go off, and then all of a sudden they come in there and now he's dead.
Yeah, that's right.
Can't get no information out of the dead man.
He hung himself. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We don't need another repeat of that, and certainly another repeat of JFK's assassinate. You know, it's one of the things. I'll shift gears here. One of the things that you told me and alluded to was, you know, you do security both local and national. You talked about that even that the government will even pay you or pay companies like you to come in and do security after a hurricane.
Yes.
Because of looters.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
And so how much of that do you do, kind of a thing?
A lot. That's a good one, Mr. Larry. I'm glad you brought that. I should have brought that up earlier. That's sad. I'm going to tell you all up front. I mean, it's good for my company because FEMA and the federal government pays us really big money to guard your property.
Okay.
A lot of people don't realize that, but a lot of what we do is guarding property. Of course, human life too, obviously, but a lot of what happens after a storm, well, I'll give you an example of something happened locally. You can kind of use this as kind of what we're talking about. Remember when the tornado hit La Rock?
Right.
Ripped through there? Well, our company was hired to do armed security down in North Little Rock it's North Burns Park, where all the debris and all the stuff was at.
Oh, yeah.
We were guarding that. The federal government was paying us to guard their equipment. People were stealing gas and stealing tools off that equipment coming in from the big damn bridge and how you walk through there, and it was getting on that track, and they're just walking in. And the federal government paid us a lot of money to watch that property. And that's sad. Then we watched some apartments from that too. The government paid us for that. Napa Valley, where it hit those apartments, we watched those apartments strictly for looters. That was it. Paid us big money. That's in our own state. But we go to Florida, we go to Alabama, we go to any place that's been hit by a natural disaster. And this will get you riled up, except North Carolina. We never made it in North Carolina. We got the contract, got the bid from FEMA, and they didn't have the money to pay us, and we never went. They wanted us to go, and we had the contract. The green light was there. We got the green lit, but they didn't know if they was going to have the money. Well, I'm not going to send my people up there, paying them, the money we're paying them. We're paying them a lot of money.
Right.
Maybe some close to $100 an hour type stuff, and send them up there. And I don't know if I'm going to get paid by the federal government. They actually wanted me to go without knowing if I was going to get paid or not. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. And it's not that I didn't care about people in North Carolina. It sounds like I'm saying it's all about money. It's not. But
no.
But ultimately, I'm a business.
You're a business. You're not the government.
I can't operate like that.
That's
so
right.
that happened, and that's really sad in North Carolina. The whole disaster there. We never went.
I've got some friends that just even around storms. Okay, and if a power line, if they're expecting a big storm, these guys actually get called out, and they get called just to simply go and sit in a car and say there's power lines down ahead, you cannot go in. And they put up the barricades, and then they sit in the car, and that's all they do.
Yeah.
And if somebody drives up, they say you can't go in there, power lines are down. And so, I can see where and you see natural disasters, as we call them, and people are wanting to loot and everything. So I can see where you're needed.
I got to I don't give government much credit. Okay, so I'm not a credit giver to the government. They really bother me.
I knew we'd get along.
But they do almost overexert themselves in a big disaster. We're going to protect your stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they're paying us big money to sit in these complexes. And, of course, we're not getting to sit in the cars like those people are, but we're having to be on the ground, which is fine, boots on the ground. And we're patrolling and walking around and everything. And we're keeping people and keeping their stuff, their memories, A lot of that's memories, right? Pictures and heirlooms and things like that. And the government's paying us big money for the American people to keep their heirlooms, to keep their personal possessions. So I'll give them a little credit there.
Sure.
they're willing to do that. But we go all over the place. It happens everywhere. Natural disasters is a big business in the federal government.
Well, South Carolina proved it, how horrendous our government was at that time.
Right.
I mean, it really did. We let our people down so much and just abused the heck out of them.
Yeah.
It really was not something that we can be proud of. That's a moment in history that it should have never happened.
I agree.
It should have never happened.
There's a lot of those, though, in there.
Yeah.
Should have never happened, but that's definitely one of them.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Sadly to say, there's a lot of that.
Now, you do gun training. In fact, Monty, your partner, couldn't be here today because he's out on the range and actually training. Now, is that training for concealed classes or for just other kind of gun training?
Just a little bit of everything. This today was actually security gun training. So we get our company as an Institute of Instruction by state police. It's called an Institute of Instruction, IOI. Monty calls it IQ test. It's IQ. It's not. It's IOI, Institute of Instruction. But basically just meaning that they've certified that we and what we train is proper and right, and they back it. The state police does. And so we train law enforcement officers. Monty trains actually law enforcement officers. He's CLES certified, which is, CLES is the big name for a licensing agency through law enforcement. And so I'm a CLES certified officer. He's a CLES certified officer and range instructor. And so he does actually law enforcement training as well. But today he was training security people how to handle weapons.
Okay.
And in scenarios where they may run into active shooters, things like that. You'd be surprised the people that hadn't handled many guns in their life that want to do the business. And so he happened to probably have a couple today, I think. I do the prevention training, just so you know, I'm the guy that does the prevention training. We believe at G6 that 90% of security is actually prevention, not reaction. So I teach the nonverbal communication, how to see that, how to de-escalate a situation, all that other not so fun stuff that's not range stuff. I do all that. And then when you get to the part where it gets to the active shooter part and the prevention doesn't work, the mitigation doesn't work, and then that's where Monty kicks in. And he's going to show you how to tactically take somebody down. That's what he was doing today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we're going to end this show, but we're going to come back with Shawn for another show, and so we hope that you will stick around and pay attention to us and get on that channel. Do me a favor, because we are hearing from a lot of people that whether they're watching on YouTube or Rumble or Spotify or X, we've got all the videos on there. And then for those of you that are following us, we're hearing, Randy, from a lot of people that they're saying, hey, I don't have time to sit and watch it, but I certainly listen to the podcast over on Apple and Spotify, kind of our two biggest ones, I think.
Right.
And so we're really happy to know that we're growing, happy to hear from y'all. So we hope that you'll stick around and come back for part 2 with us.